I hear it already. That is where my flat is. It's right there. The dreaded flat tire. If you ride an electric bike like this Lectric XP4 with a powerful rear hub motor, you know that this is more than a simple on-road repair. You see that motor right there means additional wires, it's heavy, and it's a whole different process. Feeling stranded? Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't necessarily need to take your e-bike to a bike shop. It's less intimidating than you think, provided you have the right tools, like a new tube, of course, an 18mm wrench, or my preferred tool because it's more versatile, this pliers wrench. You'll need some snips, some tire levers. Ours come included with this cool toolkit. You get 2 of them. And yes, you will need a pump as the last step. This is the portable pump that we sell and that I use. It's awesome, takes no effort. You'll also want some zip ties. You'll see why in a bit. And finally, some optional things that is just going to make this so much easier. The handlebar jack. Don't worry, I'll show you exactly what these are in a bit. They also have a seat cover. And hey, if you do want to tackle a flat repair on the road, you can get this tool pack. I'll have a link to all those products down in the description. Your purchase can support eBike Escape. And if you haven't purchased an electric e-bike or you haven't purchased an e-bike yet and you want to support our channel for free, check out the affiliate links down in the description. Thank you so much for your support. I'm Ryan from eBike Escape. A quick disclaimer, I am not an e-bike mechanic. I just love electric bikes. So this is more of a DIY tutorial to help you tackle a flat on your electric bike. And by the way, this bike was brand new. It came with a flat out of the box. And if you want to know that story and how Lectric handled it, I'll save it for the end of the video. We have the handlebar jacks here. Let me show you how these work. So they come in a set, they magnet together, which is cool. And then they have these little legs. We'll strap 1 to each grip. These have gone through multiple generations, so they've been improved over time, which is great. Maybe you already guessed it, but this is what the bike is going to rest on when I flip it upside down. And because they're longer than where the display sticks out, you can do so without damaging any of your electronics. Their seat cover helps protect the seat when it's upside down. This is where I'd encourage you to get someone to help you to flip the bike upside down. Also, remove that battery. The bike is lighter and you're messing around with the electronics, so best practice. Here we go. Slight adjustments to the jacks here on this uneven surface. I'll even take a little pressure off the seat. You can already see that this is going to be so much easier. So the first thing to do is check out your motor cable. This might differ depending on your electric bike. This one has a quick disconnect, which is great. You'll see why in a second. If yours doesn't, that can make things a little bit tricky. So cut the zip ties, being careful not to clip the motor cable. And here I'm going to clip the second one here just to give me a little bit more slack. Next, this one has a screw-on attachment, but yours might simply come apart, just kind of depends on the connector. And in this instance, I have to turn this right and simply pull the wires apart. Okay, next, I've made this mistake so many times. It's a good idea to take a picture of all of these washers and the order of them on both sides. There's the ones on the drive side, so I can remember. Then use your 18mm wrench, or in my case, I like this pliers wrench. Turn it to the left. You can also probably find a socket that works here. On the drive side, same thing. This one's going to be a little bit trickier to get to. And here we have the derailleur guard as well as 2 washers. Next we have what are called torque arms. They're bolted to the frame and then attached to the axle on both sides on the Lectric XP4. Your e-bike may be different. This is the toolkit that we sell, and it will make quick work of this because this actually ratchets. Got the size, and we'll see if we need more leverage on here or not. Flip the dial for loosening, and there we go. We'll add the handle here, make it a little bit easier. We'll set this aside with the other side. Next, I'm going to shift gears into the highest gear. I think that's going to be easiest when I want to remove the wheel. You might also want to get some gloves so your hands don't get greasy. I'm going to try to move the derailleur out of the way and pull up. And this is what makes those handlebar jacks so awesome, because this is very difficult with the bike not upside down. Believe it or not, that is probably the hardest part. If you didn't already, remove the tabbed washers if your bike has them. You don't want to lose these. Now, what's great about wider tires is generally it's easier to replace the tube. You just have more room to work with. I'm going to remove the cap for the valve. And let's see if we can see what caused the flat in the first place. So I'm going to take my tire lever, and this is the end I'm going to use. This is the part where a professional would surely do a faster job, but I'm here to just make sure the job gets done. And we'll run it all the way along the rim. Now this is where you might want to just rip the tube out, put the new one in, and call it a day. But trust me, you want to take this a little bit more careful, because you might have a further problem on your hands. So I like to always pay attention to where the valve is. And so when I take out the tube and hopefully find where the flat is, I can figure out what caused it. On a previous e-bike that had a flat, there's actually a sharp edge in here, and that would have just cut my new tube, and then I would have had a flat again, just having to repeat the process. So I'll pull this tube out. Let's see if we can find where this tube failed. I hear it already. Can you hear that? That is where my flat is. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. It's right there. And Lectric does pre-fill these tubes with slime, but in this case, it didn't work. And so I know this was actually on the rim side. So I'm going to do exactly what I talked about. I'm going to try to figure out to see why this happened and see if the rim was the culprit. In this case, I'm not sure how it happened, but I made sure all the tape is covering all the holes here. That could potentially cause an issue. I'm not as concerned about anything on the tire, being that it's a new bike, but if you got your flat while you're on the road, you should definitely feel inside the tire to make sure there's not anything still poking through. Hopefully you can remove it. But next, we can get the new tube in. We'll remove the valve cover, and we want to pump this up just a little bit so it can take shape. That makes it easier to get into the tire. That should be plenty. We'll put the tube inside the tire. Make sure you have the valve lined up with the hole. I actually might need to take some air out of this. We'll get the rest of the tube in, the tire. Now that we have the tube in, we can get the tire back on. We'll use our tire levers for that, running it all along the tire. And since we have two of them, you can kind of work both of them at the same time. You can see we're getting closer. And there we go. New tube is installed. Let's pump it up. It says 25 to 45 PSI. We're going to start with 25. What's cool about this pump is, yes, you don't have to manually pump, but you just set your PSI, and we sell this one because it's foolproof. It simply screws onto a Schrader valve. And if you think that this one is a little bit big, we do sell a smaller one now, both available at shop.ebikeescape.com. And as this pumps up, I'm just going to keep an eye. All right, now that the tire is pumped up, you can remove the pump. And what I always like to look for is to make sure that the tire is seated properly. There's a line around the tire here, and you want the distance from the rim to that line the same all the way around the tire. So that's a quick visual check you can do. We'll screw the cap back on. And that's it. Let's get this wheel installed. Another quick thing to check is to make sure you have the tire installed the right way. Now, if you didn't fully remove it, that shouldn't be an issue, but there's a rotation arrow here. Now you can save yourself some frustration by kind of orienting the wheel so that when you place it in, everything is facing the right way. So make sure the motor cable is pointing towards the motor cable. And I'm going to install these inner tabbed washers first. All right, and I'll grab onto the derailleur, try to get that out of the way. This can be a tricky part as well sometimes. Now on the side with the rotor, you obviously want to be mindful that it's in between the calipers. We are getting close here. I'm going to quick attach our motor quickly just to make sure I have this oriented properly. And usually it's pretty obvious the way these cables go together. Usually there's a notch or arrows, which this one has arrows as well. Slide that into place. and we'll screw them back together. Make sure you don't forget to zip tie all this back together once you're done. Otherwise, that could turn out very badly. Next, we have our torque arms on each side. Put those back in. It's always a good idea to reference your e-bike's manual for any torque specifications. Next, the other washers and bolts. What's nice about the bike being upside down is gravity is helping you make sure that the axle is in the right spot in the dropouts all the way in. I'm going to hand tighten this first. Got our derailleur guard. And we'll tighten these up a little bit on each side at a time. And again, torque down to manufacturer's specification. So, how did it go? Let me know in the comments section if you found this video helpful. Appreciate it if you subscribe or just like the video. Thank you so much. Remember, if you're planning to buy an e-bike, you can support us for free. Check out the links down in the description. You'll also find all the tools and accessories that I used today. So, how did Lectric handle this? Well, I emailed them like anyone would. Now, you can say whether they recognized my email or not. They did provide this bike to me, but not for this video, for a different video. You'll see. But they were out of tubes and they said, simple, just make an order on Amazon, shoot us your receipt and we'll reimburse you. They sent me a digital gift card, which I then applied to my Amazon account. So that was super easy. And get this, they also offered to set up a warranty repair at one of their partner bike shops to install a tube for me at no cost, but then I wouldn't have been able to make this video for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.